check. 1, 2, test. Can you hear me? Hey!
Rookies. Ooh. It's like we just started doing this. All right. So,
if you didn't hear,
for those of you that did not hear, because you didn't,
and you can't read lips, there's a Dr. Pepper shortage.
Daisy said, "Y'all are a hot mess today." Marty said, "Struggle bus."
Struggle bus. This is it.
This is.
If you've ever wondered what the struggle bus looks like,
can I tell you guys something? It's like I went to bed at 3:40 this morning. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those days. Anyway, all right, here we go. We're back.
Rob,
at it.
Chad, Dr. Pepper shortage.
The chat. There's a just so you know,
Welcome.
we're
Thanks
gonna
for
get back
waiting.
into. There's an article that just came out that Dr. Pepper is having a shortage, on their Dr. Pepper canned drinks, and guys, 2020 has hit rock bottom. At this point, I was just saying that I think Rob might have a end times prophecy to give.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Pepper shortage has got to be like in.
Where do you go?
Where do you go from there?
Where do you go from here?
I don't know what to do. So, in light of that, we've decided that just in case this is the end times and Dr. Pepper is gone for a while, that we're gonna test out some Dr. Pepper alternatives.
Yep. But not like last week, not like a healthy.
Not a healthy. This is like
full
sugar.
Yeah, full on. They all have sugar.
In fact, we don't know which ones there are. There's 4 here. One of them is
we have
supposed to be the real thing. Now, guys, did you play a trick and not put the real thing in any of these?
No, the real thing's in there.
Are you lying?
No, it's in there.
All right.
So we have Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
We have Dr. B, and if you're watching and you're not from Texas, Dr. B is the H-E-B, which is the best grocery store ever. H-E-B store brand.
Yeah.
So you have Dr. B, and then we also have Dr. B with real sugar. So Dr. Pepper,
like
Dr.
cane
B,
sugar. I like it.
Dr. B with real sugar, and Dr. Thunder.
I just like that name.
Dr. Thunder.
Dr. Thunder.
Yeah, that should be like a superhero name.
For sure. It might be. What's your favorite superhero again?
Oh, Arm Fall Off Boy.
Arm Fall Off Boy is Rob's favorite superhero. If you don't know who that is, you should Google it.
Google that.
Arm Fall Off Boy. His superhero is amazing.
This is a real character.
His superpower is incredible.
He pulls his arm off and he beats his.
He melees people with his arm.
Yeah. And when he pulls it off, it makes a great noise. It goes plorp,
plorp,
plorp.
And this is the real. Plorp. Did you guys know about Arm Fall Off Boy? And his name's Arm Fall Off Boy, and he's like a grown man.
He's
so
huge.
It's
huge.
Arm Fall Off, and his arm doesn't fall off. He pulls it off.
He pulls
so
it off.
Like,
yeah, it pops off.
I don't know whoever named this guy. Anyway,
it's Arm Plorp Off Man.
Plorp Off Man. So
we should move on.
We should move on. We're gonna try out these drinks, and 1, we're gonna see if there's an alternative that is good enough to replace Dr. Pepper, and 2, we're gonna see if we can actually figure out which one is Dr. Pepper.
Let's do this with the four drinks that we have here. Mm-hmm. What do you think ahead of time? What do you think is going to be your favorite, and what do you think is going to be your least favorite?
Dr. Pepper for sure is going to be my favorite.
See how positive he is?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go with Dr. Dr. B is from H-E-B?
Yeah.
And Dr. Thunder's from what?
Walmart.
Dr. Thunder is going to be my least favorite. So Dr. Thunder will be my least favorite. Dr. Pepper will be my actual favorite. If these guys didn't play a prank and not put Dr. Pepper in here, I'm kind of convinced that you guys probably didn't put Dr. Pepper in any of these. I don't
think so. I think they did it right. I don't think they're messing with us.
I think they're lying. All right, so let's try this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm-hmm. So what are we gonna do? Just taste all of them?
Let's taste number 1.
All right, number 1. Here we go. You didn't even smell it?
I think I know what that is.
I know exactly what that is.
What do you think it is?
That's Dr. B with real sugar.
I think...
Maybe. You know what? I haven't had any of the other ones, so let me see.
I think that's Dr. Thunder.
It might be. I can tell you what it tastes like. A super watered down, too sweet Dr. Pepper.
Let's ask this: was one of us right? On
No,
our guess?
yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
All right.
We'll guess in a second.
All right, number 2.
Oh, that one. These are all like really flat.
Well, I mean, they were sitting here for like 20 minutes while we were trying to get on.
Okay.
I think this one's better though.
Yeah.
I think that's Dr. B.
Can't smell that one.
This is hard.
All right, number 3. I don't know.
I think that's Dr. Pepper or Dr. B.
That's pretty sweet. I feel like them being flat is gonna kill us here. Oh, that's the real sugar.
That's the real sugar.
Yeah, that's the real sugar one right there.
And I think I like that one the best. That's good.
All
To
right.
me, this one was above the rest.
All right, so
Number
4 is Dr. B with real sugar. We're just gonna make that guess right now.
I think these are in order of my favorite to least favorite. Favorite, next. These two, I'm not sure. Dr. B or Dr. Pepper, I think. I think that's Dr. B.
Did you actually put Dr. Pepper?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
I think 3's Dr. Pepper. So I think Dr. Thunder, Dr. B, Dr. Pepper,
Yeah.
real sugar.
Dr. Pepper. The third one has like a kick that Dr. Pepper typically has. It's just flat, so it's hard to tell.
Yep. Number 4 is my favorite, though.
All right, so number 1 said Dr. Thunder.
I think that's Dr. Thunder.
Let's just do this. Which one is real Dr. Pepper? It said 3.
I think 3.
I think 3 is also. I think it's.
Are we going to have Caleb go ahead and let us know?
It's just flat. Yeah. What's number 3?
Okay, so actually, you guys were right. Rob, you were right with. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, you guys were right on every single one. Number 3 is real Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's got like a kick to it, like just an extra like
Yeah.
little kick,
yeah.
little pepper.
Can you guys elaborate
Little
on that?
Pepper.
What is it? What's
It's
the
like,
kick?
It like has a. It's almost spicy.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's not
good.
as sweet as the other 3.
yeah.
Okay.
It has that little like the pepper kick to it. You know the 23 flavors.
Yeah. But
Just
for
all
me,
mixed together.
I'm gonna choose real sugar every time. Like it just has a better flavor than corn syrup.
Yeah. I mean.
Like
3
even like throwback Pepsi is way better than.
I mean I do like, but cane sugar is just sweet. It would be I would drink that if I couldn't have Dr. Pepper, but I finished Dr. Pepper. So, all right. So Rob was right. Dr. Thunder is number 1.
Yeah.
Dr. B is number 2.
Yep.
Dr. Pepper is number 3, the champion. And Dr. 4 is number 4 is Dr. B with raw sugar.
Yeah.
And these are our choices here.
For your favorite ones.
This is our favorites.
Those all still have stuff. He's going back for more.
There's my Dr. Pepper. All right.
Pleasantly surprised. You guys are good.
It like really the Dr. Pepper just has it's not as
Yeah.
sweet and has like that spice kick to it.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't know it was so different. The rest of these taste more like that garbage that Coke puts out that they try to say is an alternative.
No.
Mr. Pibb, which they don't even sell in stores because they realize
You know what
Garbage.
Dr. Thunder tasted like?
what watered down.
Topo Chico with black cherry in it,
It does.
right?
The Topo Chico with black cherry's a little sweeter,
Well, it depends.
but I
on
guess
how
it
much
depends
you
on
put.
how much black cherry you put in.
But I think that's the flavor.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
it's more fruity.
So there you go, folks. Marty said, Chad the COVID. I drank from your cup. I mean, look how close we are. We literally spend every day together.
If I was going to give it to him.
The moment Rob gets COVID, I've got it. And vice versa. I don't know how we would ever.
Only because we're close within 6 feet and breathing the same air.
Yeah, it would be like Marty getting COVID. Like we're just
not
getting it.
Not the same as Marty getting COVID.
Almost.
Similar. But not.
Almost. All right, here we go. We're going to jump into questions because we're already super late. But There you go. There is no substitute. Dr. Pepper is the real thing, and it's the only option here.
But there are sodas that are better.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
That's like
Dr. B with real sugar. You know what else is good is Dr. Pepper with real sugar.
That's your perspective. All right, Rob.
It is my perspective. What is your perspective on movie snacks?
Movie snacks. That's a good question.
Because soda's a big one, right, for movies, right?
Oh yeah.
We need you guys to get involved here.
Yeah, this is your time to step in. Because maybe everybody's not as excited about Dr. Pepper as, say I am. But here we go. Your chance to jump in here. We got a question for you. What's your favorite movie snack? Sorry, Caleb, did I take your job? What is your favorite movie snack? First off, it's been like forever since I've been to a movie. I'm keeping this one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can have all you
Try
want.
and steal my
Here,
drinks.
this one's mostly.
No, I don't want that one.
Okay. What is? Oh, that's some Dr. Thunder right there.
What is your favorite movie snack? What do you like to eat when you go? Now, I think this depends on the movie theater too. Like, so we live downtown, right? We live in Southtown. The closest theater to us, the one that we go to the most, is River Center.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has I think almost every movie theater now has these, but they have like the recliners and stuff.
Oh yeah.
River Center was like one of the first ones, if not the first one in San Antonio to have it. But you go, you lounge out. I always get me a large Dr. Pepper, which at River Center they have the little like machines.
Yeah.
That like Soda Stream machine that you like pick yours. So it's not. I actually, fun fact, I used to mix Dr. Pepper and cream soda at the movie theaters in those Soda Streams, and now Dr. Pepper stole my idea and makes it, and I love it. But so
got him.
What?
Oh, Austin Blue said. He said, "No, Chad, you're just rich. Everyone doesn't have those experiences."
Oh, come on!
The movies are expensive.
I haven't been to a movie in quite a while, but
he said
This is Austin who's bought like 17 pairs of shoes in the past 3 months. So he, whatever.
He says his favorite is hot popcorn with Coke slushy.
Coke slushy.
Yeah, that's a solid move right there.
Coke slushy sounds like about an $8 drink there. I don't know.
I think they're the same price.
Probably not.
No, I think they are because I get slushies for my kids, unless my kids are getting the regular cups and putting slushy in.
Hot popcorn with Coke and slushy. So do you put butter on the popcorn? Do you put salt? Do you put the little they have those little sprinkle things?
Yeah,
the different flavors?
I like the pump.
The pump.
They get my hands all greasy.
All right.
Popcorn and soda is my go-to. Like a Coke and popcorn. To me that's movie snack.
I never order popcorn. Marty will maybe get popcorn and then I'll eat most of it, or the kids will get it and then I just. Once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah. Austin says butter's a must.
Butter, you have to. Like, you can't just have... And I like salt. I like salty, buttery popcorn.
Uh-oh, here comes Anirudh.
Uh-oh. What?
Samosa.
What? What does that mean?
Samosa.
What is
Anirudh,
samosa?
what is that?
Anirudh always has the most, interesting, throw in.
For sure.
It's... So, Judy said popcorn with butter and jalapenos. All right, a little spicy. Spicing it up. I like it. I like it. Marty pickles. Now I don't know. Marty, I'm going to ask this question before I go into it. Do you want me to talk about how you eat pickles at the movie theater? If not, I will not talk about it. And I know there's a delay, so I'll wait. I'll talk about what I usually order. So I like Bunch of Crunch. Mm-hmm. So I'll usually order a Bunch of Crunch or get a Bunch of Crunch box. but depends on the movie theater. At River Center, they do food.
Yeah. I think that's that's like a whole different thing.
So my thing right now, like if we go to the movies and go to River Center to go to movies, they do this like box of curly fries, and I'm all in.
Yeah.
All in on some curly fries.
That's still snack food.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So I get curly fries and a Dr. Pepper, maybe some Bunch Crunch if I'm feeling a little, I don't know, sweet. You know what Maddie does when we get popcorn? She introduced me to this, and this is actually kind of a cool idea. Popcorn, butter, obviously, and salt, and M&Ms in the popcorn. Or you take M&Ms and you eat M&Ms with the popcorn. Solid combination.
Yeah.
She introduced. Has she said? Brittany says, "Tell it."
Blame it on Brittany.
Marty says you can tell him, but don't over exaggerate. I don't know how you could over exaggerate. All right, here you go. You guys we're about to get real serious and intimate. Here's how Marty likes to get pickles when we go to the movies, right? And the pickles come in a bag, right? So Marty will get the pickle and she'll like smush it. Like just kind of like she like mushes it up, and then she gets a cup and she sticks it still has the outer edge, but she's like just kind of mushing the inside of the pickle up.
Okay.
She gets a cup and she sticks the pickle in the cup and like bites the end of the pickle off. She takes a straw and just like mashes up the inside of the pickle. And then while you're watching the movie, you just hear her slurping the pickle juice out of the middle of the pickle. It's like she's just slurping the inside of the pickle through a straw. It's interesting. Like, I remember we were dating and we went to the movies for the first time, and she got a pickle, and I was like, "What in the world are you doing?" But that's how she does it. Every time we go to the movies, if she gets a pickle, she just like is smashing the inside of the pickle with a straw and just slurping out the guts of the pickle. I don't know, man. See, Brittany says true story. She's been to the movies with her before. I don't know.
See, that's what I was like. I like pickles, but that's what I was thinking when she said pickles. I was like, is there a quiet way to eat pickles? Because that's always something like I'm very aware of, like because when I sneak candy in, I always make sure I don't buy the loud kind.
Yeah,
because my kids are gonna make noise. Yeah.
I gotta be on it. Like I could see you laughing. I was trying to be real careful how I told that story.
You did a good job.
Austin Blue said, "Oh dear God." Anirudh said, "Google it."
Yeah, so samosa is like a fried pastry with like meat, onion, vegetable, like whatever minced up in
Anirudh
it.
goes to the nice movie theaters.
Yeah. But they're like triangle shaped.
Nice.
And maybe I'm sure they vary as it goes regionally, Anirudh also says nachos and Coke is good. That's nachos you can't go wrong, because even like the super cheap nachos, I'll
devour them. Jenny Johnson said theater at the theater, just hot, expensive butter popcorn, because it is. It's like $17 for a tub, and Dr. Pepper. At home, popcorn with some hot Cheetos tossed in it and a Dr. Pepper.
Nice.
I like that add a little spice, kind of like the jalapenos that Judy's throwing in it.
That's solid.
Nice
Jenny
sound
said,
effects.
Yeah, nice sound effects. Could you imagine like you're just sitting in a movie? It's like this quiet moment, and you're sure.
That's what it is. That's exactly. Marty said, "Listen, where I'm from, everyone does this." Fact. I've gone to movies with her, like with her cousins, and they all eat their pickles at the movie theater the same way. They're slurping out the inside with a straw. I don't know. It's interesting. But loud candy is a distraction for sure. I'm not a big fan of that at the movies.
Yeah.
But, talk about the movies. I don't remember the last time I went to a movie.
It's been a while for me. I think I remember the last movie I went to when I took my kids.
What was it?
It was Frozen 2.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about.
We'll get there.
That's our next
Do
question.
we want to
isn't
move
it?
into that?
What else? Does anybody else have Daisy said popcorn with lots of butter and jalapenos with a Dr. Pepper.
Boom.
That's good. Her and Judy are on the same page. Do you share your snacks at the movies?
Well, yeah, because I'm not buying each of my kids their own tub.
That's true.
It'd be like $100.
Yeah, you got a lot of kids.
No, they'll give you like little share bags for free. Like, so I can
nice.
get a big tub, and then they're like, "Do you want some share bags?" Because they see all my kids.
Yeah.
They see like the basketball team. So you get these little bags, and then you
Just kind of dump
divvy
it
them
in.
out. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Caleb says popcorn with lime juice. That sounds pretty good. Do that.
That's weird.
Lime is
That
good
could
on
be
almost
good.
anything, man.
I'm honestly like, when it comes to pop, I like salty, buttery popcorn, but I also like kettle corn.
Oh, I love kettle corn.
I'm
yeah.
a big fan. If they got some kettle corn, I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, want to move into the next question?
Let's go to the next question.
Hit us with it, Caleb.
Hit us with your best shot.
Okay, so for the next
Fire
question,
away.
going along with going along with the movie theme, the question is: name a movie you watched and were pleasantly surprised by how good it was.
Yeah, so mine was Frozen 2. I've actually this was part of a sermon that I gave at the Arsenal.
I remember. I think you called out Brittany.
I did, because Brittany was the one that was like, "You have to see this," and like really for this. You know, she was very for like the mental health aspects, and she was very. But it was a good movie. Like it was.
A movie you've watched and you were pleasantly. Did I spell pleasantly right? I don't think I did.
Nope.
Hey, change that real quick before people figure it out, Caleb.
Yes, move the A.
Go click on the little 3 dots in the top left. All the way up. No, all the way over. The dots in the middle of the circle. Anyway, you're in the right spot when you clicked on those 3 dots, but go all the way to the right.
To the right. To
All
the right.
Right there. Yeah, there you go. Now you can change it. Pleasantly surprised. So Frozen 2, why Frozen 2?
And I didn't see Frozen 2 on purpose. We went to the theater to see Jumanji
Oh,
Next Level.
don't try and
No, we did.
backtrack.
We went to see Jumanji Next Level, and I didn't realize, like, I just looked up, like, what movies are showing, and at the top it was, like, Jumanji. And so I was like, sweet, let's go.
Yeah.
And we get there, and they're like, oh, that comes out tomorrow. So I was like, and my kids
Your
were so
kids are
excited
like, yeah.
to see a movie, and I was like, well, what do you guys want to see? And, of course, I have a 7-year-old girl, and she was like, Frozen 2. And I was just like, oh.
Did you have all the kids?
I
Was
mean,
Josiah and,
not
like-
Solomon, but yeah, Josiah, Aubrey, and
Was Josiah
Emberly.
like,
He was like,
No.
that's. I
He
mean,
was
he's
in.
chill, man.
Yeah,
He's real chill. So he was fine with it. But yeah, so we went in, and I was just like, dude, like time to catch up on nap time,
Nap
right?
time.
So I did. I just went back in my chair, got some popcorn, relaxed, and then like. You know, like a quarter way through the movie, I'm like leaning up, yes. You know, like
is there a big song from Frozen 2?
yeah. There's one that
Give us a little bit.
I already now I can't do that. I don't, oh man, yeah. So it's Show Yourself.
So show yourself, Rob. Let's hear it.
I don't think I can, man. I'm just not. Like has this. That's like this kind of like theme that goes throughout the movie. But then there's this big moment, you know, it's like, show yourself. I'm dying to meet you. There it is.
Oh man, I can't. We got to clip some of these out and make some good.
Hey. But yeah, I
Oh.
mean that was it like had a good message and, you know, like I want my girls to feel good and confident about who they are and all that good stuff. So it was I mean that was kind of the big
Dad of the year.
yeah. Yep.
Killed it.
for sure.
Let's
Vanessa
see.
says Onward. Onward was dude, Onward.
I haven't seen Onward.
It was
My
good.
kids did. I didn't get.
Well
to
then
see
I
it.
won't give any
My kids.
spoilers.
My kids bought it on Apple TV and Amazon. I think they actually rented it first. It was before I guess I hadn't locked down my password.
And then like 3 days later it was on Disney Plus
Yeah.
for free.
And
But-
I haven't seen it.
Onward was like Like you're watching it, it's kind of like, ha, 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 ha. And it gets to the end and it's like, oh God. Like it's, dude, it's brutal.
I don't know then.
Like I saw it once and it was very good, but like, I don't need to see that.
Not doing it again.
No.
Let's see what else. Daisy said Dark Waters.
Dark Waters.
She said she was pleasantly surprised because it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. That's good.
But it was supposed to be
Dark
scary,
Waters.
right?
DeMarcus said The Arrival. Is that a scary movie?
The Arrival.
Alien movie. I haven't seen that one. Doctor Sleep.
I don't think I've seen that either.
Judy said Doctor Sleep. These are all movies I haven't seen, guys.
Oh, Anirudh says Inception.
Inception.
I mean,
that's a wild one.
Yeah, that was good. I love that movie. I'd watch that. I've seen it multiple times. It's good.
Onward. Anirudh. Who said that one? I don't have
Anirudh.
that. I don't have that comment. I got to restart.
That happens to me a lot. Like I see you replying to comments and I don't even have the
Inception. I was trying to think like a movie that I was pleasantly surprised by how good it was. Here's the thing. If I start a movie, I'm going to finish it. And I don't know if there's too many movies that I walked out of that I was like, that's just terrible. Like maybe I'm just a positive person when it comes to movies. I'm like, I got to sit and watch a movie. And so I'm happy. But
I saw people walk out of a movie that I loved.
What was it?
The Village.
I haven't seen that one either.
And I mean, M. Night Shyamalan, he's kind of like, he's almost like this director
that's
that
a good one.
You love him or hate him.
Yeah.
But I was watching that movie and like, it's supposed to feel like, oh, what? Like you're supposed to hit this point in the movie where you're like, come on. And so at that point, people were like, literally this dude's walking out the road like, this is stupid, like, yelling in the movie. And I was like, and then at the end, I was like, he missed it. 'Cause I loved it. I thought the movie was good.
Brittany said, this is a great one. Brittany said Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was surprisingly a good one.
I was surprised at how good it was.
I knew it was going to be good, but that literally that's my favorite superhero movie.
It's good.
Like I've seen Into the Spider-Verse a lot, and that one, I came out of that one I think more excited about the movie than my kids did. just some of the way that like after he gets bit by the spider, in the way they change the way that the movie looked.
Yeah,
like it went it turned like more comic-y, like it had like the little dots in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff changed. I don't know. I was thoroughly impressed by that movie, and it also has a great soundtrack, which I've listened to.
Oh, for sure.
My kids love it, so I've listened to it a million times. But
Anirudh says the Dark Knight series, which are I mean,
good ones.
He says unmatchable with any other superhero movies, and man, I might agree with that. They're very
they're
good.
different. I think that Marty said,
more
"Gotta go, guys. Yara's on full on terrible twoing the house." I'm talking forks thrown at her brother. Somehow found the staples and threw them all over the living room. She's licking the broom. SOS. Hey,
I have one of those.
Here's the good news, guys. The chat's gonna be long today. I'll be here for a while. Yeah, she can now reach into drawers, like the top drawer, and so she'll reach in and grab a handful of forks, and then take off running. You're like, no.
We have this drawer where it has like tools and stuff in it, so like screwdrivers and stuff. Solomon's favorite thing to do is to get into that drawer. It has like batteries and little tools. So he'll pull batteries out and he'll be, oh, babbies. And then I go, hey, give me those. And he'll just
launch
he
them.
throws them. Yeah. So we got to be careful when he grabs something like a screwdriver. Yeah. You know, not to like nobody scream.
Nobody chase him.
Like he will throw it.
Yara just takes off running with her forks in her hand.
Fantastic.
Oh, Parents of the Year. Man, it's almost 5. I don't know. I can't think of a movie that.
Well, you had one, Spider-Verse. I mean,
that was a good one.
Very good.
Hey, this last week we started our new series called Perspectives. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, I did see a question on here. Debbie.
Gavin had a question.
Gavin did.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Where at? On Facebook?
Yes,
I
yeah.
don't see it. What is it?
So Gavin said, when did Chad and Rob first meet? And how long did it take for the bromance to begin? Who made the first move?
Which Gavin is this?
Do you know a lot of Gavins?
I know a few. Yeah.
Oh.
Is this that guy from what's that church? The old church downtown?
That really old church. That
Yeah,
dude. That
that
that's
guy.
always creeping in here.
He like wears a robe and stuff when he teaches. We met
Gavin's in the room
years
by the way.
ago. Yeah, no, Gavin's standing right here. Man, I don't know, like 20 years ago? No, more than that.
More than 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 something
Yeah.
years ago. So it's been a long time.
Yeah. So
It wasn't a bromance at first sight though. Rob was the older brother that was much cooler than us, that we couldn't, like, I was friends with Rob's younger brother.
Yeah.
So Rob had a cool truck and would not let us go with him places. And so it came much later.
Yeah.
After I grew my beard out and Rob took me, like, said, all right, this guy might actually be a real man.
Sure.
Oh man, Deb asked a question too that we should probably get to. She said, I know it's not new, but what do you think of The Shack?
Oh, I thought it was good.
The book or the movie? I'm guessing the movie.
Yeah, I didn't read the book.
I didn't either. Marty read the book.
We were talking about movies, so
Yeah.
I think if you want to get really legalistic with it, like you can find anything wrong with anything, right? So, or you can enjoy the movie and take what's positive out of it. And if you do that, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But also a movie that I don't want to watch multiple times.
Yeah. It's without the beginning of it, I think I would be all right.
Yeah. But without the beginning, it doesn't carry
make as much
the same
sense,
weight.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I was not a fan of The Shack when it came out. My wife, Marty read the book, and I remember totally being the legalist in the house and be like, "You can't read that book.
Heresy.
This is heresy," and just kind of going crazy about it. But I have grown in that,
Yeah.
And I honestly I love it. I watched The Shack. I've watched I think it's called The Shack Revisited. What's the guy's name? William Paul Young?
Yes.
Is that his name? I think that's it. The author. He did a Shack Revisit. I think it's Revisited on Amazon. That it's like a series where he goes back and kind of talks through different parts of the book or the movie and the aspects of who God is. I mean, for me, I think through my process of like going from like legalism to more grace-based understanding of who God is, that movie has. I can look at that movie and see my transition in how I believe about like who I believe God is and stuff like that.
And also like approaching movies like that, you don't have to fear like if a movie can totally warp your theology, like your theology wasn't too solid to start with, right? Mm-hmm. But you can also approach movies or books like that with, it doesn't necessarily, to me, I don't know that it changed my idea of who God is, but it definitely affected the way that I view my relationship with that God.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, there's so much like view of God and God's love. I think the Trinity and kind of how, like, for me, like watching it, the Trinity and how that kind of all operates.
Yeah.
And then I think even bigger for me was like the conversations of, like the main character who had an abusive father.
Yeah.
And then later seeing a video of this child being beaten.
Yeah.
And he finds out that was his father.
Yeah.
So for me, like we talk a lot about like everybody has their story, right? And sometimes people operate from a place of like hurt, right? A lot of us,
sure,
like
yeah.
we all do. We all operate at times from a place of hurt, and so that I think that just helped me to see, like, man, when I see people act out or or when I act out, like where's it coming from?
Yeah.
And that lack of identity and lack
Really
and
helps
that
you
place of
develop
hurt.
empathy.
For sure.
And
Yeah. So
would you say it changed your perspective?
it did change my perspective on relationship with God and who God is and all that fun stuff. Speaking of perspectives,
Speaking of,
we started a new series this last week.
we did.
That's called Perspectives, and I kind of launched it off, and we're going to talk for the next 4 weeks. It's a series where we are talking about one biblical story for 4 weeks from different perspectives of those that are of basically like characters or people that were in the scene of that story. And so this last week we kicked it off with a story from Luke 5 where Jesus heals the paralytic man whose friends lowered him through the roof in order to get healed.
So you did it from a particular perspective this week.
I did it from the perspective of the Pharisees in the room.
Which is interesting because rarely I think out of all of the perspectives, that's probably the one that people would gravitate to the least. Like, oh yeah, that's me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I'm the Pharisee I think we all got a little bit of that in us at times.
Yeah, it was I don't know, this was week 1, but I'm already pretty excited about this series. I think
Me too.
Typically, when I read a story, a Pharisee is not the person that I would equate myself to in most places.
Yeah.
And so to look at it from that perspective, and really, I mean, we kind of looked at it, or I looked at it from the perspective of the Pharisees asking questions, and saying that asking questions wasn't a terrible thing.
Yeah.
It's just they weren't really asking for an answer.
Right.
But
I think what's cool is understanding God's grace for us gives us the ability to step into a role like that and kind of open ourselves up to like, man, maybe I am like this sometimes. Like maybe sometimes I do ask these questions and it's a form of argument. It's not like a genuine question like they were doing there. But knowing that God's not going to reject me just because this layer got exposed, like this layer got peeled back and my faults are exposed. We're so scared, I think, sometimes when we don't trust God's grace for us, that we're so scared we have to keep those things hidden. Because if we don't, then obviously God's mad at us, and now we have to go through this whole process of, I don't know, like, a not fun process.
I saw One World Music hopped on. What's up? Welcome. He said, I've joined for your feedback on what I sent as well. And I did read through, he sent 2 emails. I haven't sent them to you on perspectives and just some like ideas and other things from that story. I did read through them. They're long emails and you don't know me well, but long emails and my ADD are
not friends.
Are not typically friends. But I did read through it. I liked it. There's some interesting takes that I wanna kind of unpack, but I need to take some time to do that. But
going back
very
to
cool. I appreciate you hit me with that.
Back to movies real quick. Anirudh says the movie I starred in is what Anirudh says, Interstellar.
Yeah. Nice.
Anirudh says I look like Matthew McConaughey. Chubby
he
Matthew
said
McConaughey.
you look like a chubby Matthew McConaughey.
Not fat. He was very clear.
Yeah,
to say,
not fat. Just chubby.
Chubby. I'll take it.
Matthew McConaughey with a dad bod.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Leonardo in the house. What's up, Leonardo Torres Music? Leonardo said you get a full understanding of the situation when you step into other people's shoes. I think that's it. One of the things that we talked about at the beginning of this week was my perspective is my reality, but your perspective is your reality. And when we step back and we take other people's perspectives, we actually can see like a true picture of the full reality.
Yeah, because each
situation.
perspective, I mean, just like there's a camera in the middle of this room, there's 5 people in the room. We all have a different point of view, right?
Yep.
And if we can manage to see that camera from all points of views, we know full well what's there. Like from our perspective, we don't see a screen.
Yeah.
We see a lens. From Caleb's perspective, he sees a screen, so it looks like a completely different thing.
Yeah.
But when we can get all of the perspectives, we can get a much better grasp and a much more useful, beneficial grasp on any situation.
Exactly.
Which is what we're doing in this Bible story of this paralytic man that was lowered. So we have a few different perspectives in this story. So like Chad said, he did the Pharisees who were in the room. The Pharisees and scribes were in the room. Jesus was in the room. We're going to attempt at some point to try to, as best we can, see this from Jesus' point of view, and which we can a little bit because we can see the after, like where Jesus was going with a lot of things.
Right.
We're going to look at like the friends. The paralytic man's friends, who lowered him down, and of course the paralytic man himself. Like what was it like to be?
Which is what you're covering this week, right?
Covering this week, yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to do the paralytic man.
Yeah. And what struck me so much about this story was here's a man that he was completely helpless. Literally, all he could do is ask for help. Like he had no ability to get to Jesus. He certainly didn't have the ability to climb up on a roof and tear it apart and lower himself down in.
Yeah.
Like he was helpless. And so that's kind of a theme that I want to dig into a little bit. Like what is it like to be totally helpless?
I love it. I think I'm excited. I'm excited about this week and the next few weeks. I don't know, like being helpless, is that, it's not something we always think about.
Yeah.
Being helpless, but
until you experience it,
until
right?
you are,
Yeah.
right. So here's the deal. We're going to ask our last question, and we were late coming on, so that's why we're still here. But we're going to ask our last question, and our last question is typically a little more serious than our fun questions on movies and movie popcorn and stuff.
Yeah.
But the last question, Caleb, hit us with it.
Okay, so for the last question, has there ever been a time when you felt completely helpless? And tell us about it.
Rob?
I've definitely had some times where I was just like nothing I could do. I mean, one, like I had cancer, and there was a time where I lost so much weight, and I remember a very specific point, and it's a little graphic, so I'm not going to go into the details, but just like laying on this, I had to like lay on my side, on a hospital bed, and I'm just like laying there and just like this is the worst. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And just feeling completely helpless. And of course, with that same thing, I remember laying on a bathroom floor, like puking my guts out and just not even being able to get up.
Yeah.
And it's the worst feeling. And then there's other times like when I first moved to San Antonio, Troy Sheck invited me to his house, and I went over there, and of course he lives way out by SeaWorld. So
way
out
out
by SeaWorld. So I drove, and I was brand new. I didn't know the area. So I drove out to his house, and I was there. It was like midnight or something, or 1 a.m. And so I left, and I turned my truck was low on gas, but I was like, I passed a gas station right before I got here, except I turned the wrong way on 1604.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, it's a loop. I mean, it's going to take me back around.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, I ran out of gas, like out on like the south side on 1604. And I was just like, the only thing I could do, like I tried to like wave down a car, but who's going to stop for a dude in the middle of the road at 1 a.m. So I finally walked, I found a gas station, and it had a payphone. And this was before everybody walked around with cell phones.
Yeah.
And I had to call my dad, because what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
I was stuck. I was helpless. I didn't know where I was. I couldn't walk home. What do you do? I call my dad.
Call your dad.
Yeah.
I had a similar situation. I was in college. I had a Honda Accord, an old Honda Accord, and I was driving it. One day I got up and it wouldn't start. And I was like, I had to be at work and I didn't know what to do, and my car wouldn't start. I ended up calling my dad and being like, Dad, I don't know what's wrong with my car. It won't start. So my dad drove all the way to Waxahachie, Texas, which is up
Wow.
by Dallas, from San Antonio to come help me. We were out there trying to take it apart, figure out what's going on, and he ended up dropping the gas pan or like the fuel pan,
Yeah.
and my car was empty. I just didn't have gas in it. He'd driven like 4.5 hours to come help me fix my car, and I just ran my car out of gas.
And your dad's like a car guy.
He's a car guy.
He's a car guy.
And he looked at me like any loving father would look at their son who'd ran out of gas and called him to go. It was an interesting time.
Oh, that's good
But
stuff. And
I can't.
he probably didn't even consider that because
No, he's like, who would think? Who would call?
Surely.
Surely he's not out of gas. But I was. But this is also a couple years before that. I'd helped him change the oil, and I dumped oil into the radiator. So I think he realized exactly who he was working with. So it was an interesting thing. But that's. I don't know. Anybody else have a story of feeling helpless? Caleb, you got one? Anybody? I don't see anybody on here.
I think we're rather helpless more than we recognize.
For sure.
Um,
And I don't know, like, I was trying to think, like, there's times where I don't know that it was helpless in my own, like me needing, I did need help, I guess it was. Like, I remember a few months ago, Yara woke up in the middle of the night and was having, I forget what they call them, but some kind of seizures. And I'm holding my baby girl who's having seizures. And when she would have a seizure, she would scream.
yeah.
And you could tell she was in pain. And she had a super high fever. And I didn't know what to do.
Horrible.
Like,
Yeah. Horrible.
I'm lost. I have no idea what to do right now. So it was like, just get her to the hospital.
Yeah.
And so Madi put her in the car. She took her to the ER, and I'm at the house. We called Gina, who lives like 30 minutes away from the house, in the middle of the night, like almost 2 a.m. Gina drove over to stay with the rest of the kids so I could go to the hospital. But I just remember holding her, and she would like stiffen up and scream. And I was like, I feel like I can't do it. Like, I don't know what to do for you.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst experiences as a parent ever.
Yeah. When your kids are hurt, dude, I've gone through Aubrey's broken arm, Aubrey's cut on her head, Aubrey's toe that she stubbed in her toenail came off. Aubrey's like she's our accident prone one.
Febrile seizures?
Jo-
Febrile? That's what they're called. That's what Brittany said.
Josiah's had a broken arm too. I remember when Aubrey broke her arm, it was like, it looked like a lightning bolt. Like
Ugh.
it was horrible. I was like, "You're okay. Calm down." I'm the worst.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
the worst in those situations.
You're okay.
Everything's okay.
We got a couple here. So One World Music said, well, it depends. Perhaps our reluctance to ask for help when you think you're helpless. Help should come from another person or from inner strength.
I
question.
will wander around a store up and down every aisle before I ask somebody where to find something.
Yeah. I was moving.
I
we
actually
had-
asked somebody today for help and they didn't know at Home Depot.
and you're
I
like,
was
this is why I don't know.
I was like, hey, where do I find
Yeah.
clamps? And she's like, I have no idea.
I'm horrible at asking for help. I remember Madi at one point, I was moving. We had like a 20-foot storage unit that I was unloading and loading into a trailer to move from our house up north down here. And I was there just working for a couple hours by myself. And Madi ended up putting a Facebook post up, was like, can somebody go help my husband? Because he's not gonna ask for help.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't like asking for help.
I've
So-
done that before. Moved my whole house by
Yeah.
myself because I didn't want to ask for help, and it's ridiculous.
Madi said, she's back. She said, I felt utterly helpless the second I walked or got thrown off the cattle truck at basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I just remember thinking, what did I get myself into? It is a cattle truck. That's what it feels like. Like you're in this weird trailer thing that they just kick you off and throw your bags at you. And I do remember that experience.
And you're stuck. I mean, there's no.
Yeah. Same. I remember one time we were in Iraq, and we'd gone out. We were on an op. We were kind of going house to house, and we got pinned down in a firefight. And I'm an intel guy. Like I did military intelligence. Like I am not ready to be out here in some firefight. Like I'm here to talk to people and try
This
to,
is not
this is not my forte. Like I could shoot a weapon, but I don't really enjoy it. And so it was just like looking around like, dude, what is going on? And it was I can't remember, there's a military movie that talks about, there's these two guys that are like on a battlefield and a bullet goes by and he's like, it's so close. And the guy's like, nah, that's not close. It pops when it comes by when it's close. And then like the next bullet comes by and it's like, ska! And like pop, he's like, okay, that's close. Like that's what it was. It was like rounds were popping and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like this is it. I don't know. There's too many people shooting. I don't know where they're at. I don't know what to do. Luckily we were with an infantry unit that those guys knew what they were doing. And so that was definitely one of those moments. The military has lots of moments of feeling completely helpless.
I'm sure.
Not knowing what to do. Leonardo said I was in bed with stones in my gallbladder for over a week. Could barely move without pain. Walking to the restroom was like getting punched 100 billion times in the gut. I see what you did there. I see what you did. It made me realize I take a lot for granted. Walking, for instance.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Like, what do we take for granted? And I mean that when you feel helpless, you begin to kind of realize like some of those things that you do take for granted.
Yeah.
Like you ever lost your voice and
Yeah.
like I can't even talk now. Like
There was a time I was just talking to, I think, Casey about this. There was a time when I was a worship leader and I showed up to church on Sunday morning, couldn't sing.
oh,
I couldn't talk. It was gone.
that's rough.
So I got to play drums. I'm not a drummer. I can get by a little bit, but I got to play drums, which was very exciting. And my drummer, she played keys and sang.
Yeah.
She was a better singer than me anyway, so it worked
That
out.
works.
Yeah.
Caleb Jernigan said, through my life, I've battled depression and anxiety. And throughout my life, there have been times where I felt stuck and helpless. Sometimes in my seasons of helplessness, I find myself not desiring to be helped. Could you guys give some advice on maybe how to find help when you don't want it?
Yeah, man, that really digs into some kind of, deep stuff. And I think it's okay to take a moment and just be for a minute. You know what I mean? Just it's okay, because sometimes we're in this rush to get things done, and you can't rush healing. Healing takes time. Healing is a process, and that's okay. And everybody heals differently, and everybody heals at different speeds. But there is a time where you have to take that leap, right? You have to say, I need help. And it's just that. It's knowing who you can confide in. And I do that. I mean, there are things that like right now that I need help with, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to hold out as long as I can. You know what I mean? Like as long as I can until it's a dire emergency, until I've exhausted all options, until I've totally discovered that I have no way of fixing this myself. When really, like, if you start early in the process, it doesn't have to come to that point. And it probably doesn't put as much pressure on other people to fix the whole thing right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's as simple as like, man, talk to somebody, Well,
I mean, I think it goes back to having those relationships, right? And having hopefully people in your life that you trust, that you've built those relationships with, that even when you are in those spots, like they know it already. Like I was just talking, I was talking to a friend earlier who, like I know when he is not in a good place, he isolates. Yeah. And it's like, man, don't go isolating on me. Like I'm gonna come find you.
Yeah.
And just like
and that's a different perspective here. Like when you recognize that somebody needs help.
Yeah.
Like go like seek them out.
Yeah.
And make sure that they know that you're available. Like you can't rush the healing. You can't fix the problem for them, but you can let them know, like, hey man, I see something here. And even offer to help in specific ways, because that can be really important. If you just throw off like, hey, I'm here for you, like, well, in what way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna help me with money? Are you giving me emotional support? Are you gonna go fight somebody for me? Like, what are you willing to do for me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is it that you're willing to step in and do? And maybe you can do something that I haven't thought about, So I think that's important when you see people who are in need or recognize something's not right like if you're available to listen, dude, that's huge.
Massive. Yeah.
Let them know, like, man, I'm available to listen. I'm safe. I love you. And that's important too. I think when you're in that spot, when you're the one who needs that, like some kind of help, your understanding of God and his view of you is massive.
Yeah.
Because if God is waiting for you to live up to this, like, whatever standard, you're going to be more prone to hide things. You will. But when you understand God's unconditional acceptance and love for you, that's where you can lay it out, where you can say, like, look, here's where I'm at. And hopefully that is the overflow into the way that we have relationships with other people, right? God's love for us is this unconditional acceptance. Can we have that for people around us? And I think when we're filled and we've come to this full knowledge of God's love for us, we can have that for people around us. It's the overflow.
Is there a fire emoji we can drop? Is that Jose commented and said, yes, I got stuck on a call 15 minutes past my end of shift during the chat, so helpless. And he also said we'll throw hands for the Arsenal.
Hey.
So we appreciate that. Abhishek said, Arsenal, we love your music. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I love our music too, man.
I'm a big fan of our guys.
Our band is killing it, man.
Our band.
Like, for real.
They're
They are some very talented people.
Speaking of, One World Music said, I'm a musical guy and pay attention to lyrics like obsessively. When I'm helpless, there are songs that help to change me.
Yeah.
He said there's inspiration and guidance in songs. Hymns are perfect many times. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's times where songs, just sitting down and throwing on a song that really speaks to the soul, right, is good. But it is almost 5:30, and
we did it.
We probably need to hop off here. But
we promise next week we'll be on time.
We promise we'll be on time next week.
Pinky promise. Don't.
We're getting there. We're getting there. No, we're not. Today was the latest we've ever been, and we were set up already. So I don't know what was going on, but we made it. We were here. We've got perspectives this week. New perspectives. Hey, Rob on Sunday will be carrying us into the next perspective in the story of the healing of the paralytic man. And we're actually going to look at the perspective of the paralytic man who was healed by Jesus this weekend. And I think it's going to be fire. So I'm excited about that. That'll be Sunday morning. Don't miss that at all. If you did not catch Perspectives, the first one, go back and watch it. We talked about the perspective of the Pharisees. It's on our YouTube. I think it's actually still, the whole service is still, I haven't changed it yet. So the music and everything's on there.
One more quick comment here. Judy says she felt helpless when she used to get bad anxiety attacks. And I'm seeing that more and more and more. And I've actually experienced that like more in the, probably like, not so much real recently, but fairly recently, and it's just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what, like, it's paralyzing. And I think, if that's you, like, you're not alone and you do get through it. I mean, you can see Judy right here. Like, she used to get anxiety attacks. And I used to get them, and it's weird. And so, One World Music asks, "Are there Pharisees nowadays?" I'd say, in certain ways for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think they'd be along the lines of just very legalistic, religious zealots.
Yeah.
Right.
Always pointing out the faults of others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to cover up their own faults.
Yeah. Look at Jesus. He is welcoming and dining with sinners. That's.
Yep.
I mean,
yes. I'm going to go ahead and say yes on that one. But Jose said he's not praying for tech issues on Sunday, though. So I appreciate that. Because he did pray for tech issues for today. Jose, it's all your fault.
Found the culprit.
Yeah, we found the culprit. All right. We're going to get off here. Join us Sunday, 11 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook for Perspectives.
Love you guys.
Episode 2.
Go get some Dr. B with real sugar.
No, drink the real thing. Get Dr. Pepper. There is no replacement.
There's no replacement for real sugar.
We will see you next week. And later.